John, did you see the
He's the
funeral?
best. I listened to it. Yeah.
Okay.
What did you think?
I thought it was quite a spectacle. Vice President
Mhm.
Kamala Harris was there. The mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms, was there. The mayor of New
Quite simply,
Orleans.
if the person murdered were white, none of those people would have been there, and that angered me,
Well, there wouldn't
frankly,
have been a
because just
national
that
broadcast on cable news and on radio of the funeral either.
all of that is a statement that what killed him was his color, and I think that's a willfully simplistic analysis, and all of them were buying right into it.
Funeral was broadcast live on cable networks MSNBC and CNN, but not on Fox News. I shifted around. This was in the afternoon on Wednesday. Why was I watching cable news in the afternoon on Wednesday? It's a long story. Let's not go into it. But when I
Mhm.
noticed that the funeral was on, I thought, yeah, I probably have a professional obligation to watch this thing. And it went on for over an hour. Sharpton gave a eulogy that was very passionate, eloquent, I must say, powerful. He invoked Martin Luther King Jr. because we were in Memphis and that's where King had been killed. And he invoked the mountaintop speech. I've been to the mountaintop. I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, this kind of thing. And Sharpton likened himself to King indirectly by pointing out he was a climber too. He's on the mountain too. He hasn't quite gotten to the top, but he's, following in the good fight kind of thing like that. Sharpton is the civil rights leader for Black America of our time. I think that point was
He is?
underscored.
Mm.
Benjamin Crump,
I don't think of
introduced
him
by
that way.
Sharpton, gave a long speech in which he did the lawyer's thing. Sharpton introduced Benjamin Crump as the Attorney General of Black America, quote unquote.
Mhm.
Michael Eric Dyson was there. Talk about people with three names. Sharpton pointed to Michael Eric Dyson in the audience, calling him the Socrates of our time, quote unquote. And I watched this spectacle unfold. And here, I had two thoughts, John. Please tell me why I'm wrong. One was this is a performance, a scripted enactment. I could have almost written the script before it even happened. This was a show. Not to take anything, no disrespect intended to the family who were burying their loved one who had been brutally murdered by police. No, really, no disrespect intended. But I watched our vice president at that gathering, and she was playing a certain kind of role, and it was a certain kind of uh, dramatic enactment. And we're really good at it.
Mhm.
It put on a good show. It sent chills up my spine. It's in a Black church. Everybody is hallelujah and whatnot. And the cadences and the intonations and the evocations, they were all really quite familiar to me. And they were at some level comforting as I got wrapped into this narrative about oppression and struggle and race and whatnot. I thought that um, I thought it was a show. But I'm going to say this: I consulted my wife about whether or not I should say this in public, and I'm going to say this. 3 days ago, she and I entertained ourselves one evening by going to Amazon Video and digging out Spike Lee's Bamboozled.
Mm. That
This
was
is
one
an
of
old
his
film.
that
Yeah,
was one of
sorry.
his lesser efforts, and I've seen every single one of his films. I did not know what he was trying to say, but I remember it very well. Yeah.
So the plot of it is that there's an ambitious Black scriptwriter for a TV network who wants to get ahead in life, and he comes up with the idea. I know what I'll do. I know what we need a hit show. Here's my hit show.
Damon
We're going to
Wayans, yeah.
reenact blackface, kind of a minstrel show like
Manton Moreland.
characters,
Right.
and we're going to play that card. We're going to play the blackface minstrel card uh, and draw an audience in that way. And Spike Lee uses that as a device for, plumbing the ambition, authenticity, identity, the commercialism of the media, the sort of amorality and whatever. I'm not a movie critic. I'll just leave it at that. But in so doing, filmically, he has to capture these images. So I know, for example, how you make blackface because you burn the cork, you mix in the water. You have to put something on your face to protect the cocoa butter or something before you put the blackface. I know about these uh, items that people would keep in their homes where they would have a mammy or something, or about these posters and adverts. This is from the earlier period of Jim Crow, where the Negro with the red lips and the big eyes bulging and the step and fetch it kind of, the Amos and Andy kind of, that's all been brought back. And I could not get out of my head the thought that there was a way in which that, God, this is horrible. It's horrible. But I just said, this is a coon show. There's something almost undignified about it, John. God help me. I watched the enactment and I thought people are going through the motions, and especially in virtue of the fact that uh, Al Sharpton was in the chair. I'm not a big fan of Al Sharpton. And Benjamin Crump, author of The Witness Fraud of the Trayvon Martin hoax, was running the show. The chair, the Reverend Al Sharpton, his National Action Network, were the organizers. They thank local people for bringing them in. And you got the sense that this is a traveling road show. As Peter says, there will be another such incident. And when it happens, we're going to enact another such ritual. Um, I couldn't help but think that this is grist for their mill. This is part of what it is that keeps them going. There's a kind of almost ambulance chase dimension to it. And I'll stop because I've already gotten myself into enough trouble. But I was deeply depressed in 2023 by the ease and deftness with which this white supremacy has done us wrong, and we Black people struggle under the boot weight on our neck, and it's 1963 all over again, was projected across cable television to the nation as the civil rights expression of our time. Um, I was dismayed by it, frankly.